Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where you, our listener, bring us your sources, maybe articles, research, notes, and, well, we dive in.
Yeah, we dig through it all, pull out the really key insights, the surprising bits.
Exactly. Trying to help you get fully informed without feeling totally overwhelmed by all the info out there.
Think of us as your guide, cutting through the noise based only on the material you've given us.
Couldn't have said it better. And for this deep dive, wow, we're looking at a match that really had everything riding on it. The absolute last league game of the IPL 2025 season.
That's right. Lucknow Super Giants versus Royal Challengers Bengaluru.
And our job today, just using your sources, is to unpack the huge pressure surrounding this one, the standout moments, the big performances.
And what it all meant for the playoffs, right? That final playoff picture.
Let's get straight into that pressure cooker then. Match 70, the very end of the league stage, played up in Lucknow at the Icona Stadium.
And the stakes, for one team especially, just massive. Your sources are really clear. RCB, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, they had to win this game.
Had to win for what, exactly?
To get into that top two finish in the points table. That was the goal.
Ah, the top two. That's the big prize before the final, isn't it? Guarantees you a spot in qualifier one.
Exactly. Against Punjab Kings, who are already locked in. Mm-hmm. It means you get two chances, two bites of the cherry to make the final. Huge difference.
If they lost?
Well, the sources say they'd finish third. And that means heading straight into the eliminator match against Mumbai Indians.
Which is sudden death, right? Lose that and you're packing your bags.
Precisely. It's the difference between having a safety net and, well, walking a tightrope.
Okay, so massive pressure on RCB. What about LSG, Lucknow? What were they playing for? The sources mentioned they were already out.
Yeah, that's right. Already eliminated from playoff contention before this match even started.
So for them, it was more about
pride, mostly. Mm-hmm. Finishing what sounds like a bit of an up and down season on a high note. Maybe get to that 7-7 win-loss record.
And maybe playing the spoiler for RCB.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to think that was part of the motivation, too, trying to derail RCB's top two hopes.
Your sources mentioned some interesting recent form, too. LSG actually had a win just before this against Gujarat Titans, breaking a losing run.
Yeah, while RCB, despite having a really good away record this season, like 6 wins from 6 before this.
They'd actually lost heavily right here at Icona.
That's what the sources say. A big defeat against Sunrisers Hyderabad recently at this very ground. Adds another layer, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, toss time. Crucial moment. Who won it?
RCB won the toss. And they chose to bowl first.
Bowl first, okay.
Yeah.
And there was something about the captaincy.
Jitesh Sharma was the stand-in captain for RCB. Raja Patidar, their regular skipper, was out injured.
Ah, okay. So Jitesh leading the side. Did he say anything else at the toss?
Just confirmed he'd be batting in the chase later on.
Right. So player availability. We know Patidar was out for RCB. Any other key absences noted in your sources?
Yeah, for LSG, Aiden Markham was missing away on national duty.
Okay. And RCB's bowling. Any gaps there?
A big one, according to the sources. Josh Hazelwood,
right,
rated as one of the very best bowlers around. He was out.
Wasn't there some talk he might return from injury?
Some sources might have speculated, but others confirmed he was definitely out for this specific match. Nuwan Thushara replaced him.
And others missing for RCB too.
Yeah, Tim David and Lungi and JD were also unavailable for them.
Okay, so some key players missing on both sides. And the pitch itself, Icona. What do the sources say about playing conditions?
Generally described as slow-ish, big boundaries too. Mm-hmm. So usually not a paradise for batters.
But LSG have power hitters who could maybe challenge that.
For sure. But you can't ignore, like we said, RCB conceding over 220 here just recently against SRH. Yeah. That must have been on their minds.
Right. So that sets the scene for LSG's innings. RCB bowling first. How did it start?
Mitchell Marsh and Matthew Brietzke opened up for LSG, facing Akash Singh and Nuwan Thushara for RCB.
Any early drama?
Well, your notes mentioned RCB burned a review really early. An unsuccessful one against Marsh. Not ideal.
How did Brietzke look?
Looked okay. Promising start. Your sources even mentioned he hit the first 6 of the match off Krunal Pandya.
But he didn't last too long.
No. Nuwan Thushara got him. And the sources were pretty glowing about this delivery. Described his bowling as majestic.
Majestic. How so?
Well, after a bouncer, he apparently bowled a searing Yorker, you know, with that unique sort of slingy action he has.
Yeah.
And the sources say it sent the off-stump cartwheeling, just like obliterated the stump. A brilliant piece of bowling to get Brietzke. LSG were 25 for 1.
Wow. Okay, so stump cartwheeling. Who came in next?
Rishabh Pant. At number 3. And this is where the narrative really shifts.
How so? The sources mentioned his season before this hadn't been great.
Yeah, described as miserable or tough in your notes. But he came out here looking completely different. Really aggressive, counterattacking from the get-go.
Immediately.
Oh yeah, hit a 6 off Yash Dale pretty quickly. That over went for 19 runs for Pant, 20 total for LSG. It was like he was, determined to make a mark right away after those earlier struggles.
And he found a partner?
He certainly did. The partnership with Mitchell Marsh. Through those crucial middle overs, like over 7 to 15.
And they really got going.
Absolutely went nuts. Put on 109 runs together in that period. Did lose a wicket. The sources highlighted how they just didn't let RCB settle, didn't let them sneak in any quiet overs at all. Constant pressure.
What about Marsh's contribution? We know he's had a good season.
Yeah, he sort of joined the party after Pants started firing. Found the boundary, started a motor, as one source put it. Got his 50 off 31 balls with a big 6.
That was his 650-plus score this season?
Yep, and he'd already gone past 600 runs for the tournament. Shows his consistency. He ended up making 67 off 37 balls.
A very handy knock. Who eventually broke that big partnership?
It was Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Finally got the breakthrough in the 16th over. Marsh caught behind by the keeper, Jitesh Sharma. The stand was worth 152 runs off just 78 balls.
152, that's huge. And who replaced Marsh?
Nicholas Puran. So no real let up for the RCB bowlers there. Another dangerous hitter.
But the main story was still Pant.
Absolutely. He just carried on. Sources described him as looking phenomenal, playing that stand and deliver style, just pure power hitting.
Kept finding the boundary.
And the 6s. Hit 2 more off for Romario Shepherd. He was really motoring towards 100 by then.
And did he get there?
He did. His second ever IPL century. Reached it in just 54 balls.
Incredible pace. Do the sources mention the scoring shot?
Yeah, 4 over extra cover off Bhuvneshwar. And the celebration sounds like it was something else.
Oh, yeah. What did they say?
Described as wild. Front leg way up in the air. Apparently even threw in a backflip.
A backflip? Seriously?
That's what your sources report. Big cheers from the LSG dugout and the crowd. You can just feel, reading it, how much it meant to him after that tough season mentioned earlier.
Wow. What a moment for him. And that innings really pushed LSG's total up.
Massively. Propelled them way past 200. They finished on a huge 227 for 3 in their 20 overs.
227? Is that a record for them there?
Yes, sources confirmed it was LSG's highest ever total at the Icona Stadium. Pant finishing unbeaten on 118 from just 61 balls.
Incredible numbers. 11 fours, 8 sixes. Just total dominance.
It really was. And, going back to RCB's bowling.
Yeah, that score really highlights the concerns your sources mentioned, right?
Exactly. Conceding over 220 for the second game in a row at that venue, it's flagged as a definite warning sign as they head towards the playoffs. Raises questions about depth and discipline under pressure.
Okay, so a mountain to climb for RCD, 228 needed for that vital top 2 finish. Who opened up for them?
Virat Kohli and Phil Salt. LSG started with Akash Singh, who came on as the impact sub for Mitchell Marsh.
And how did RCB approach this huge chase? Tentatively?
Not at all. Quite the opposite. They came out absolutely blazing.
Really?
Yep. Phil Salt hit the very first ball of the innings for 4, straight down the ground. Then Kohli finished that first over with another 4, flicked away, 9 runs off the first over.
Okay, strong statement of intent.
And then the second over, bowled by Will O'Rourke, was even more explosive.
How so?
RCB hit 5 boundaries in that one over alone. Salt got 1, Kohli got a couple of pulls, an edge, a little tickle past the keeper. They just went after it.
5 boundaries and 1 over. How many runs did that yield?
22 runs off that second over.
Wow. So after just 2 overs, RCB were
31 for no loss.
Yeah.
An incredibly fast start, especially given the massive target they were chasing.
And that's about where the detailed reporting on the chase ends in your sources. They mentioned the third bowler coming on.
Yeah, Digvish Rathi started the third over, but the blow-by-blow account seems to stop around there.
Okay. So let's try and, connect the dots here based on everything in the sources. What really stands out?
Well, first, the sheer pressure on RCB, needing that win for the top 2. Then LSG, technically with nothing that pride to play for, stepping up massively.
Wait, and Rishabh Pant's innings is obviously central.
Hugely. After the sources describing his season as tough, for him to produce that innings, a match-winning century in the final league game, it feels significant beyond just the runs.
Like a statement, showing why he's, as one source put it, worth that money.
Exactly. Maybe the spark he personally needed. And Marsh's support was crucial too, that huge partnership.
And on the flip side, RCB's bowling again. conceding 220 plus twice in a row here. That's got to be a worry, right? A warning sign, as the sources called it.
Definitely a concern heading into knockout cricket where you expect bowling attacks to be tighter.
But then you have their response with the bat, that incredibly fast start from Kohli and Salt.
Yeah, it tells you their mindset, doesn't it? Facing 228, the only way was to attack relentlessly from ball one. Kohli needed a big one. Salt just went for it. Aggression was the plan.
So many memorable moments described too. Thushara's Yorker.
Yeah, the majestic one that sent the stump cartwheeling.
Pant's wild backflip celebration.
The sheer number of runs in that Pant Marsh stand.
And then RCB hitting 5 boundaries in the second over of their chase.
It all paints a picture of a really high-octane, high-stakes game with brilliant individual performances. And maybe some team frailties exposed too.
So, to wrap it up based on these sources, LSG, powered by an absolutely stunning Rishabh Pant century, set this massive target, raising those questions about RCB's bowling.
But RCB, needing the win desperately, came out swinging in the chase, starting incredibly fast, showing they weren't intimidated by the score.
And the outcome of that chase, which isn't detailed further in the sources, held everything for RCB's playoff path. Win, and they get the qualifier 1 safety net against Punjab Kings.
Lose, and it's the nerve-wracking eliminator against Mumbai Indians. All came down to whether they could sustain that aggressive start and chase down 228.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Based on what your sources show here, a huge total conceded, partly due to bowling struggles, followed by an ultra-aggressive batting response. In the playoffs, where the pressure is just immense, can that kind of pure batting firepower actually compensate for potential bowling weaknesses?
That's the big question, isn't it? Or does disciplined, deep bowling ultimately win out in knockout games?
Yeah.
This match certainly suggests we might be in for some high-scoring, nail-biting playoff encounters where maybe, just maybe, attack is the only form of defense. Makes you wonder what's coming next.